What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud of Cab Show. NFL Week 12. What a weekend. Really disappointing for my Indianapolis Colts. It's really what I expected. They come out great in the first half, and then come the second half, they just want to piss the game away. Fumble, throw a couple bad interceptions, and really, the Colts arguably should have won this game, dude. Just gave it away. I mean, you're playing the defending Super Bowl champions, and you're going to play like that. To me, the Colts shot themselves in the foot. Do I credit Tampa Bay for winning this? Yes, because of Leonard Fournette. I mean, Leonard Fournette really did ball out. 100 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. I mean, what more could you do as a running back? Shout out to Leonard Fournette, LSU cat. But for me, it's hard to be an Indianapolis Colts fan. It's what I've seen for the past decade. Ever since they released Peyton Manning, it's been the same. They come out great and then they just piss the game away. It's really disappointing to me. It is. I mean, that's why I picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hats off, to the GOAT. Tom Brady. I almost said the GOAT, Drew Brees. Shout out to Drew Brees and Hoke, but Tom Brady is the GOAT. We had to realize that. He had only 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Really a quiet game for Tom Brady. I think, really what won this game was Leonard Fournette in that run game. It really was, and that's rare to say. Carson Wentz, yes, he had a good game, over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions. One of the picks was kind of like, why, Carson? Why are you throwing that? And I think one of Carson's weakness is holding the ball way too long. It's to the point where it's like, bro, you're going to have to release the ball at some point. You can't just do that. You cannot just do that and just hold the ball the whole time. This is the NFL. Everybody's fast. Everybody's strong. But, it's frustrating. It is being a Colts fan. It really is. Jonathan Taylor balled out with 83 yards and a touchdown. Kind of a quiet game for him, too, because we're used to seeing Jonathan Taylor over 100 yards at least with a couple touchdowns. I mean, hats off to Jonathan Taylor. This kid, he's going to be a future superstar. We know that. It's just for the Bucs, they squeaked out this win. They were down by 2 possessions at halftime, and the Colts really shot themselves in the foot. They really did, but, hats off to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Colts overall had 5 turnovers. That's terrible. 5 turnovers. And Carson Wentz had 2. I hate talking about it. I really do. It's really, really sad for me. It is, dude, being a Colts fan. But, hats off to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got the dub. And then we got Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I picked the Bengals in this matchup, and what a pick it was. I told you guys to go Cincinnati. This was really an easy pick for me. And a lot of people would say, well, Cap, why are you going Cincinnati? Well, because of Joe Burrow. 190 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But the difference was definitely the run game, and that started with Joe Mixon. 28 carries, 165 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. He balled out. And really we saw T.J. Watt get frustrated and threw him Joe Burrow down like a rag doll. But, I like what Joe Burrow said after the game. He said that's part of the game. That's football. That's what it is. He said nice block. And that's what he told T.J. Watt. Whereas, if that was probably me, I'd try to, take his helmet off or get really frustrated. But Joe Burrow kept his composure. And Joe Burrow, we have to understand, he's a champion. 2019 national football champion with the LSU Tigers. He originally went to Ohio State, which is crazy, right? But I just think, for Joe Burrow and Cincinnati, something's brewing there. We have to realize that Cincinnati Bengals, man, this is epic right now. You guys have a possibility to make the playoffs, not only make the playoffs, but really run deep. Run deep in this. I'm telling you what, dude, you just never say never. Cincinnati Bengals, the future's bright for you. On the flip side, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's over for Big Ben. He should have retired last year. I mean, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. It's time for Big Ben to hang it up. One of the touchdowns, one of the picks he had, it was just like the ball he tried to throw. It's just Big Ben, his body's breaking down. His mind's breaking down. He needs to retire. Seriously, dude, give the Pittsburgh organization some credit here and say, you know what, give him some respect, Big Ben, and realize that you suck now. Your career's over. Eli Manning had a better career, and you guys both had the same Super Bowl champions, but, with 2 Super Bowls. But at the end of the day, Big Ben, I still rate him as average, dude. I really do. He had 1 good Super Bowl run when they beat Arizona. And the other one was, Big Ben really didn't, have that much effect on it. Yes, he did play well, but I just think overall, Big Ben, good career. Is it a Hall of Fame career? That is another discussion. That's a big question mark, but, what a win by the Cincinnati Bengals. They continue to improve, and I'm telling you what, Joe Burrow is definitely the future there. Future superstar in the NFL, no doubt about it. Then we had the Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins. This was yet another devastating game. I picked the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton, 2 interceptions. He got benched, and it's really sad. And I can say right now, I'm a huge Cam Newton fan. I was ever since he was at Auburn, even in the Florida days. Florida Gators, he was a backup quarterback from the GOAT, Tim Tebow. But I just think for Cam Newton, dude, it is. He's past his prime. We do know that. I just hope they bounce back. McCaffrey's out with that ankle injury. He's out for the season. And I think for the Carolina Panthers, with McCaffrey out, your best player, it's over. You guys are not going to make the playoffs this year. Carolina Panthers, your season is over. Good season for you guys. You're done. You're not going to make the playoffs. But, shout out to the Miami Dolphins and Tua. They're on a little win streak here. Tua, 230 yards passing and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 9 receptions, 137 yards receiving and a touchdown. I'm telling you what, Miami, I always thought Miami had that battle to him. Had that dog to him even in week 1. I just think Miami, they got something going. Hats off to the Miami Dolphins, but, Carolina Panthers, so long, your season's over. Then we got the Tennessee Titans versus the New England Patriots. The Patriots are on a 6-game win streak, and this was really an easy pick for me. I picked the Patriots, and they very well won this game with ease. Mac Jones, 310 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. He's balling out. Tannehill just 93 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I told you guys, Ryan Tannehill is not a future superstar quarterback. He shouldn't be a franchise quarterback. He should be benched. He's a backup quarterback at best, dude. Well, let's just be real here, okay? Dontrell Hillard, he had 12 carries, 131 yards rushing and a touchdown for the Tennessee Titans. And it looked like the Titans, when he had that big run for the touchdown, looked like they were going to come back, but that was it. That's the only player who really balled out for the Tennessee Titans. Other than that, it was all the Patriots. Hats off to the New England Patriots. Hats off to Bill Belichick. We have to give him credit. Bill Belichick, love him or hate him, he's one of the best coaches we've ever seen. So hats off to Bill Belichick, but he's not the GOAT, okay? Don't get that twisted. Tom Brady is better than Bill Belichick. That's what we do know. Then we had the Jets versus the Texans. The Jets got the job done. I picked the Jets. Why did I pick the Jets? Well, because Zach Wilson was back. That's the only reason I picked it. He really didn't have a good game. Yes, he had some breakout moments. He had an interception, but you have to realize you're playing the Houston Texans of all people. 2 trash teams, but the Jets got it done 21-14, and this was a great pick. Tyrod Taylor played pretty well, 158 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. But overall, it was New York Jets. I picked the trash Jets. Hey, what a pick, though. I told you guys, big win for the Jets. Then we had the Eagles versus the Giants. I picked the Philadelphia Eagles. They had their moments. Jalen Hurts had a terrible game, 3 interceptions. Look, he's still young. We'll give him that. But you can't throw 3 picks and really win a game unless you're Lamar Jackson, okay? But, hats off to the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, 202 yards passing and a touchdown. They squeak out a win barely, though. But it doesn't matter in the NFL as long as you get that dub. So that's what matters. Big win by them. Then we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Jacksonville trash-ass Jaguars. Look, dude, I picked Atlanta in this one. They were 2-point favorites, and they covered. This was an easy pick. We're talking about Jacksonville, who's won 2 games this year. They're terrible. It's been really devastating. It's hard to watch. Trevor Lawrence, you really disappointed me this year. I thought he was going to come onto the scene, number 1 overall pick out of Clemson, had all this hype. Then he's playing like this. It's one of them things where it's a head scratcher like, shit, dude. Like, I don't know about it. I just don't know. Urban Meyer, I don't know about him. I think he should go back to college football. He should go back to my Notre Dame Fighting Irish since freaking Brian Kelly wants to leave. I'll get to that later. I'm really, mad about that situation. But big win by the Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to Matt Ryan. And then we got the LA Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. Look, I picked the Chargers. I thought Justin Herbert was going to ball out. I was dead wrong. It was all Broncos and Teddy Bridgewater. Broncos defense came up big. Patrick Surtain, he had 2 interceptions, 1 pick 6. And really, some of the throws that Justin Herbert threw was just bad. And I'm starting to realize that Justin Herbert, he is a good quarterback. The only weakness is he's really inconsistent. Some weekends he's really good, then others he's trash like this, But hats off to Teddy Bridgewater, another sound game. Teddy Bridgewater, I'm telling you, his IQ of the game right now, he's top 3 in the NFL. It goes Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Teddy Bridgewater at number 3. I know a lot of people are like, whoa, what? Yes. Teddy Bridgewater, I'm telling you, he's getting smarter every game. He's a good quarterback, 129 yards passing and a touchdown. He continues to improve. I'm telling you what, the Broncos, they're going to be a sneaky team. If they make the playoffs, they are definitely a sneaky team. I'm telling you what right now. But Justin Herbert, like I said, 2 picks, over 300 yards passing, some good flashes, but, that pick 6 was a terrible throw. But big win by the Denver Broncos. What a time. Then we had the LA Rams versus Green Bay Packers. I told you guys to go Green Bay. Rams came in as 1-point favorites. It even went to 2 at one point. And I was like, what? In Lambeau Field against one of the GOATs, a.k.a. Aaron Rodgers, and you guys are going to disrespect him like that? Come on. Aaron Rodgers balled out yet again, 307 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams balled out with 8 receptions, 104 yards passing. And it's iconic because Odell is playing with the Rams, and Odell wanted to do a jersey swap with Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams is like, dude, get Cooper Kupp. Since you went there to take Cooper Kupp's jersey, I thought that was funny. That is silly, but, Cooper Kupp had 96 receiving yards. Matt Stafford, 302 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, but it just wasn't enough, and Green Bay was all over it, and it's hard to bet against Green Bay when they're playing at home with Aaron Rodgers. I think his toe will heal 100%. Huge win by Green Bay. I know Green Bay Packer fans are going crazy right now. Big win by them. Then we had the Minnesota Vikings versus the 49ers. I picked Minnesota because they got the big upset last week against Green Bay. And how terrible of a pick was that? Okay. I will never pick, Minnesota again after this. This was just embarrassing. Yes, Kirk Cousins had a pretty good game. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick on 238 yards passing. But we saw in that 4th down in the 4th quarter, Kirk Cousins get lined up, not even under center. He lined up on the right guard. As a quarterback, I'm thinking, man, Kirk Cousins, what are you thinking? Kirk Cousins really had a good year. Is having a good year this year. And up until that point, I'm just like, dude, is Kirk Cousins smoking some weed in the huddle or what, dude? Like, you're lining up under the right guard? Not even under center, dude. They had to call a timeout. It was just one of the plays I've never seen before. And Kirk Cousins has been balling out this year, but it's funny, man. It is. I don't like to make fun of people and laugh, but it's just one of them things where it's like, oh, man, dude, like, what? Like, dude, it's funny to me, but, big win by the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy G, 230 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Elijah Mitchell, 27 carries, 133 yards rushing and a touchdown. I'm telling you what, San Francisco, they got the offensive line in the run game. Probably one of the best run games, them and the Colts in the NFL right now. And I love it. I absolutely love it, and I didn't think the 49ers would win this game. To be honest with you, I thought it was going to be all Minnesota, especially coming from last week and seeing what they did, but it's just embarrassing, dude, for Minnesota right now, coming off that big win, and then you guys are going to lose to San Francisco? I can't believe it, but big win by the San Francisco 49ers. Like I said, I am really, really shocked there. And then we had the Sunday Night Football game, the Cleveland Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens, and this game was crazy. We saw a lot of turnovers, and Lamar Jackson probably played his worst game of his career this game. Yes, he had a touchdown, but he also threw for 4 interceptions. And I always say, man, dude, if you're throwing for 4 interceptions, you're definitely going to lose the game. Unless you're playing against the Cleveland Browns. Let's go back to reality, Cleveland. You guys are trash. You guys are completely garbage. Javaris Landry, I like him. 6 receptions, 111 yards receiving. He's a baller. Baker actually had a decent game. 1 touchdown, 247 yards passing. But it just wasn't enough for the Cleveland Browns. It's like they don't do enough. They just never do enough. And the Ravens, they find ways to win. They do. Like last week in Chicago without Lamar, they found a way to win. This week, Lamar has his worst game of his career, 4 picks, and they still find a way to win. I'm telling you right now, the Baltimore Ravens, I'm telling you, they can really make a difference in the playoffs if Lamar doesn't throw these ill-advised picks here. He cannot throw interceptions after interceptions like that. It's not going to work in the playoffs, and I think Lamar realizes that. And I'm glad Lamar had a bad game this game because I'd rather have Lamar have a bad game right now than in the playoffs. I'm telling you what, they're going to be dangerous. Justin Tucker, the best field goal kicker ever. They got him as well. He can hit kicks out, 66 yards. Crazy, dude. I'm telling you what, dude. The Coach Harbaugh, what he's got going in Baltimore, there's something, dude. And I'm telling you what, I do believe Lamar can win a Super Bowl. I really do. If he plays well in the playoffs and doesn't throw dumb throws, I'm telling you right now, I got the Baltimore Ravens, man. They're an X-Factor team in the playoffs. No doubt about it. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see the future for that. But, for the Cleveland Browns, what's next for you guys? Well, it's going to be yet another long season. It's going to be disappointing. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I really don't. I think they're going to edge out. And I think Baker, he's not 100%. He is not 100%, and I think the Cleveland Browns offensive line really isn't, helping Baker, dude. And a lot of people hate on Baker. I think Baker, his story's great. A walk-on at Oklahoma, really had to work for everything, and really right now it's one of them things where it's Baker, he looks kind of like an old man right now because he's getting hit at almost every play, and they're not protecting Baker. They need to protect Baker if the Cleveland Browns want to do something in the future, because if not, that's it, dude. It's just going to be like any other, anything else. Look how many quarterbacks the Cleveland Browns had in the past 20 years. 21 years, since 2000. Check them out, dude. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable, dude. The Cleveland Browns, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Is that what they want me to do, is feel sorry for the Cleveland Browns? I don't know. But it is definitely one of the things where it's just Cleveland, dude, can you guys get any worse? Can you get any worse, dude? Lamar threw for 4 picks, and again, you guys still lose. It's unreal to me. It is unreal. But I want to go back to my Indianapolis Colts because I am kind of fired up. I am fired up about the Colts because, it's like this every time. They play great. They play great in the first half. They play great. And then all of a sudden they collapse. They do these fumbles where they shouldn't be fumbling the ball. This is just basic 101 in the NFL. This is basic Pee-wee football here. You should never fumble the football, dude. You're in the NFL, but it happens. Mistakes happen, and that's part of the game. And really, they're playing the defending Super Bowl champion, so we got to give them leverage here. And it's one of the things where it's oh my gosh. Unreal. And then we had the Monday Night Football game. We had Seattle versus Washington. This was even at one point, I think a day before the game. And really, this was a close game. And Seattle came back. They came back and battled, but the Washington team comes up, man. And we have to give it up, man, to Taylor Heinecke, dude. This kid's from Old Dominion. And really, last year at this time, he was on the couch. He didn't know what he was going to do. And now he's a starting quarterback for the Washington team. This is inspiring. This is great. This is a story where you never give up. You just never give up. And the Washington team, hey, they're on a little win streak here. I can't believe it. But for Seattle and Russell Wilson, it is disappointing. It is. I just think for Seattle and Pete Carroll is 70 now. Wow, time flies, right? I just think for Seattle, it's over. You guys are not going to make the playoffs this year. You guys are playing for next year, ultimately. But I just think moving forward, the Washington team, man, if Taylor Heinecke continues to play, he's playing right now, he's going to do something, man. I'm telling you right now, and shout out to Antonio Gibson. He balled out this game, 29 carries, 111 yards rushing, and it's all the Washington team. They got the win, and I picked the Washington team at home. Why? Because of Seattle, dude. They're not the same team right now. Russell Wilson's not 100%. That offensive line is trash. So it's all the Washington team, baby. And obviously the Thanksgiving games, it was kind of heartbreaking for me. It really was. Definitely for the Dallas Cowboys. You guys are going to lose to the Raiders on Thanksgiving. This is crazy to me. And this was an overtime game. This was ultimately a close game. Derek Carr balled out with 373 yards passing and a touchdown. Hunter Renfro, he's from Clemson. He had eight receptions, 134 yards receiving. He actually caught the game-winning touchdown against Alabama in the national championship game. This kid can ball out. He's short. He doesn't look like a pro athlete, but he can ball. He can play a little slide receiver. But for Dallas, Dak Prescott, 375 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. I just think with Amari Cooper being out, that is definitely hurting Dallas, dude. And this was a game where Dallas had an opportunity to win this game in overtime. They got the ball first, and really it sucks, man. And like I said, it's every year with Dallas, dude. Look, we go back and look at Dallas' history with Tony Romo. The legendary quarterback Tony Romo, who won 2 playoff games as a starter. he's legendary? Dude, come on, dude. Tony Romo is a bust, dude. How's he even a broadcaster and announcer, dude? He's trash. He's won 2 playoff games as a starter, dude. Get him out of here, dude. Tony Romo sucks. The Dallas Cowboys suck. Shout out to the Las Vegas Raiders. They got the job done. And then we had the Bears versus the trash Lions. I picked the Lions with the upset. Why did I do that? I don't know. You know, they had the game in the bag until they fumbled it. Andy Dalton, 317 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Darnell Mooney, 5 receptions, 123 yards for the Chicago Bears. But the Lions, man, it is disappointing. And Jared Goff actually had a good game. 171 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds, 3 receptions, 70 yards and a touchdown. But the Lions, dude, their coaches suck. Dude, they just suck, dude. They're trash, dude. So I think the Detroit Lions, I don't know if they're going to win a game this year. I really don't. I don't think they will, but hats off to the Chicago Bears. And then we had the Bills versus the Saints. This was probably my lock pick all weekend, was definitely the Buffalo Bills over the Saints. Why? The Saints were banged up. Kamara was out. You know, a lot of injuries with the Saints right now. And, shout out to Josh Allen, 260 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, though, but he did bounce back from recent games. And then Stephon Diggs, he had 7 receptions, 74 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown. I just think for the Buffalo Bills, they still got an uphill climb here. I think Josh Allen is not playing his best football right now, and they understand that, but they blew out the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are beat up. That was my lock pick all weekend, baby. But what a weekend for the NFL. I love it, baby. It's the Clown with Cam show. Let's go!